Welcome back to Recalibrate. I'm your host, Leon Lopez, and I am stoked. Sitting here with me today is my beautiful wife. You all know her, many of you know her as Skinny Shell, and host of the new and upcoming podcast, Hearts of Valor. We're going to get to more of that in a little bit, but in fact, a little bit later on in the show. So first off, baby, thanks for joining me today.
Wow, what an intro. I'm like, "Meow, meow, meow. She's arrived."
I need the sound effects. Well, no, thanks for coming in. And Andrew was with me on the last one.
Coming in, I live here.
Man, well, coming in and doing the show with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have an in-house studio, everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Andrew was with me on the last one, man, and it was awesome. We had a good time doing that one. So, back to back family. This is cool.
Yeah, you were able to escape me from my daily chores of doing dishes and all the weekend adventures.
They're not going anywhere. We'll get back to them. Listen, today we're talking about grind season, and I kind of like this one. It's the cold reality of February, right? So what is grind season? What's grind season to you?
Grind season to me?
Yeah.
We're talking
it's February,
yeah.
Right? So we're in February now.
Grind season can mean a lot. I mean, we got Valentine's Day happening.
That's okay, right? Yeah. That's not the grind season I'm talking about, though.
Grind can mean sex. It can mean coffee. It can mean hitting it hard in the gym. I mean, all three things to me.
Getting closer.
Sticking to your goals, primarily. Yeah.
Right. I think for most people, it means one thing, and it's failure, right? The gym, as you mentioned, is packed on February 2nd.
Yeah, Andrew was just mentioning like how empty it's getting already.
It's a ghost town now. It's an absolute ghost town now. All those big, bold resolutions already fading for a lot of people. It doesn't matter if it was fitness related, financially related, just personal goals in general. All the New Year's resolutions. Here's the truth. I think it's that resolutions don't fail. People fail because they rely on motivation instead of a system, instead of a process. And today we're going to talk about that and, hopefully fix it for some people. So
I don't think it's so much a fix. I think we're going to be talking about making habits, right? Just a lifestyle change. You have to want it more than somebody else wants it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think really it boils down to you. I think you just have to want it. At some point, we make these resolutions, even though it's fun to talk with other people like, oh, what are you doing? And, what are you giving up or what are you going to try to do? It's fun to talk with friends and family about what your resolutions are. But man, deep down, it depends on what you want to do, what your goal is. That's who you're struggling with. That's who you're trying to beat is yourself from last year.
And that's a hard thing to do, to look in the mirror.
It's the hardest thing to do.
A lot of people don't want to put the mirror in front of their face and see all that. So.
Self-evaluating is the hardest thing anyone will ever have to do. And if they disagree, anyone listening right now, if they disagree, they haven't done it yet. Not truly. But it's the hardest thing to do is to look yourself in the mirror and admit to yourself, you fucked up, you didn't do it right, it's your fault. Chances are for most people, if shit isn't going right in your life, or if shit has gone wrong, it's because of you. It's your fault. You're the one who fucked it up. You're the one who is continuing to screw it up. And that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. But not to get off track, I'm going to ask you a question, okay? Think about this. You don't have to shoot out an answer. What do you think the percentage is of people who fail on their New Year's resolution by February? That's part of the question. So
by February?
Yeah, by February. So January 1st rolls around. The percentage of people who fail on their New Year's resolution by February.
Well, let's see.
And this is by Forbes magazine.
Forbes. Okay. I'm gonna say at least 85% have bowed out.
Close. 80%. 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by mid-February. So what are we at right now? We're close to that. We're very close to that. We are approaching mid-February.
Really, people,
Yeah.
85%?
Well, it's 80%. You said 85.
Oh, well, 85 in my head. It's probably the 5% they didn't count.
Says, 80%, nearly 80%.
I'm right. They're wrong. 85%. That's fine.
Less than, get this, less than 10% make it through the year.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I totally believe that number.
So we're talking single digits of people who commit to something January 1, actually stick through it for the entire year. So, what, I guess when you ask why, I think most people go in with this all or nothing type of mindset. January 1, right? They're all pumped and they're motivated. And like we said earlier, they're talking to other people. They think this singular big decision in January is going to rewrite their life, but that's not really how it works, right?
No. I think this goes a lot deeper because I think our mindset is so much more powerful than what our bodies can actually do. I mean, your mind fucks with you. It really does, but it's about like really telling yourself, and really just believing and saying it, words of affirmation to yourself, I believe is like huge. Seeing it in writing, seeing a picture, something that's going to motivate you every day. There was something I saw the other day. I follow Robin Arizona on IG. Shout out to Peloton for my Peloton fans out there. And she has, I believe it's Queen Warriors, some of the sort, something like that. But she was just like, if you were to say, gosh, I don't want to get this wrong, but let me come back to that. I'm going to find it really quick. Go ahead.
Okay.
And talk.
All right. So, we're going to talk about quitting and why people quit, but I want to talk about the motivation myth, right? Because people always want to get so motivated and they're looking for motivation. I think that's why seminars and conventions are so big because, is Tony Robbins, right? Like going to Tony Robbins and there's a lot of great motivational speakers out there. Not to knock them. I think that sort of stuff is great. But there's a fine line between going to something like that and getting pumped up and then actually taking action with some of that stuff that you hear, right? And that's probably the biggest waste of time is when people go to something like that and they have this great thought or a great idea. And then that time that it takes to actually take in between having that great thought or that great idea and putting it to action. In between those two things, the idea and the action is probably the biggest waste of time. And I've been guilty of that. I mean, when getting the podcast up off the ground and running, man, procrastination kicks in, life kicks in. There's all sorts of things. But
I think the biggest thing though was when I made your T-shirt and you saw it.
Yeah. Well, that's just
put the logo on a T-shirt and I was like, get after it. Like, let's go.
So, but going back when you're just motivated because you hear something or, in that moment, that's not going to keep you going. Like you have to have a routine. You have to have something to strive for. And you're right. So maybe looking at that logo on the shirt was like, man, that's what I want. That's what I want to keep moving for. Did you find the thing?
I did.
Okay. Before we go, we'll go.
Okay. So going back, Robin Arizona on Peloton, she has this thing called Swagger Society, and I follow her. And it says, replace I don't have time with it's not important and see how that feels. So I always try to like post stuff like this on my Skinny Shawl on IG just to kind of like motivate others because it's what you're seeing, what's in front of you. And so I try to make sure that I follow motivational things, words of affirmation, people that I want to look like, fitness wise, like something that's going to get me. Like if I'm wasting time on social media, I hope it's putting something in my mindset and that I'm seeing that I want to get up and do. Like, okay, put down the phone and I'll go do it.
Yeah. So I like that in a harsh kind of way because I'm thinking about that so that was replace I don't have time with it's not important, right?
Yeah.
That's what she said?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking like, let's say somebody invites you to something that's important to them. And you're like, oh, I've got a busy schedule. I don't know if I have time. When in reality, maybe it's like, yeah, it's not that fucking important to me to go.
But it's important to them.
But it's important to them, and it's important that you want to keep that relationship, so you should probably go. Right?
Absolutely. I think so. I mean, friendships to me are everything.
Yeah.
You know, like I've built so many friendships just because I value their time just as much as they value mine. And, you know, maybe it's something that's not that important to you, but if it's important to them, that's a staple to them. That's what makes relationships stronger.
Okay, replace I don't have time with it's just not that important.
Yeah.
That's, when you put it like that, that's a harsh reality, and I think that puts things in perspective. All right. Okay, let's get back to motivation here real quick. So do we admit that is motivation kind of a lie? Is it kind of it's a false truth, right? It's just in the moment type thing?
No, I think we all have it. I just think it dies off.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's my opinion, you know.
Do people need to feel motivation to take any sort of action?
I think so. I think you do. I mean, when you work out, you're always looking at that YouTube motivational stuff
Oh, I
to get you pumped up, finish it off, right? Like to get you through the last 3 reps.
Well, so there's days where I'll play stuff in the background. Like I'll go through like whether it's music, whether it's having something on the screen,
music, words, everything's powerful.
Yeah, and then there are times where man, I'm spacing on the guy's name, but there's a strongest man. You know the strongest man competition?
Probably not.
Well, there's a competition out there. It's like strong. It's not a.
I know you follow stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not like a.
I mean, I've heard of it, but not. I don't know enough.
These guys who are like crazy strong. I'm not talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilding type stuff. These are like the strong men, strongest dudes in the world. Crazy stuff. Anyway,
is this the ones that used to lift up cars and used to have on TV back in the day?
Yeah, they pull trains and shit, and they pick up these concrete balls and.
Yeah, I remember something. Yeah,
just ridiculously strong.
Okay,
but there's a guy. I can't. Man, I'm brain farting on his name right now. But where he trains, he doesn't listen to music. He doesn't train with anyone else. He like trains in total silence. And he does that because he's like, when you go to the competition, you can't have any of that stuff. You can't have any of that momentary.
You can't be in your head.
Yeah, you can't have that stuff.
So you kind of meditate then, it sounds like.
Pretty much. He just uses what he has in his own brain to get him through.
Is he a monk?
He is not a monk. Yeah, the guy's been the world champ for a couple of times. I don't know if he still is. I mean, I don't follow it that close, but I did see a documentary where he trained and it was one of those scenes where there was no like background music or anything. They just kind of filming him train and just watching him do it. Like all you can really hear is him breathing. It was like, yeesh. Like you really got to be in the mindset, man, to get through something like that. James Clear, for anybody who knows him, he's the author of a book called Atomic Habits.
Oh, that's a great book.
I love that book.
Audiobook too, people, if you don't have time to read.
Highly recommend it if you like to read old school style, flipping through the pages, or, nowadays if audio Audible's your thing and you do that. Highly recommend James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. He's got this great quote. I don't think he was the original one, but he's kind of morphed it to fit his message. And it's you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system, right? And Hollywood and the movies we watch, they kind of like to paint this picture that, man, in the moment that you need it most, if you hope and if you try really hard, then you're gonna reach whatever goal it is you're shooting for, which is just bullshit. If you don't train hard and if you don't put in the work and the effort, the reality is you're not going to succeed. And that's kind of the whole premise behind that phrase. If you don't rise, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. An example of that would be a guy wakes up January 1st and he says, I want to lose 50 pounds, right? He's hyped. He buys all the expensive workout clothes, the shoes. He gets a membership at some gym. And then, for 2 weeks, he's hitting it hard. But then, life kicks in. he's got the stresses of work, the late nights. Maybe he misses a day here, misses another day, and then suddenly he's back to square one, feeling like a failure. And why? Because he relied on motivation instead of actually having a system. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, babe, what is your take on building a system or a routine? Because I mean, and let's face it. So for those, I've been married to this woman for a very long time.
How long?
We've been married now going on 26 years.
Yes.
Okay.
26 years.
Going on 26 years. And she thought she was going to get me.
I almost did. I saw you think.
Going on 26 years. And I'm going to tell you, so the skinny shell message that when she goes out and she hits that gym with the ferocity of that she hits it, and the message that she puts out are so sincere. I love it. It's almost like an alter ego she carries out. It ain't bullshit when she goes out there.
No,
And
it's very raw and real. Like I just don't care anymore at my age. It's just got to get out there, because I was the person I'm trying to talk to is the person I was. That's pretty much how I feel about that and where I'm at in my life right now.
Yeah. And that's probably the best way to put it is, whether there's a million people or one person listening, this advice is something that I wish I would have heard. And I know when you're talking, and whether it's kind of under the skinny shell umbrella or just best advice at all, it's stuff that I know you wish you would have heard or given to your younger self. So when you're out there and all this stuff that you've built up, when you hit that gym, what is your take on building a system or a routine? How do you do that?
Well, I didn't really have a system or routine. I was trying to create a habit first. And I did that starting off. Well, I was doing spin prior to 2020 before COVID hit. And then I kind of, COVID happened. We purchased our Peloton, started, trying to get on the bike more because we were all going a little cray cray inside the house. And we've always had this gym in the garage. The system that I think that happened was the change. When I started seeing a change, I started doing it more. If I fast forward to now, I was doing it all wrong. And I'm learning as I go, but I truly believe you got to make time in your day for it. If I like working out in the morning, and because it fires off so much more energy in my mind, and I get so much ideas. I even get emotional about those ideas sometimes of what I want to say. And I just kind of hit record and I'm like, oh my God, I was crying during that reel or whatever it is. But, I just take that equation out now. I'm like, I just don't care. If you don't like me, delete me. I don't care. But if you like it, then continue on. So, if I don't get it into the morning, I start to do it in the evening. I try to do it before dinner. So that's kind of my habit is like, I have to get it in before dinner. But now I have a system in place, even that I didn't have last year. I've kind of taken another leap into that role. So, I mean, I don't know how much you want me to get into that, but I want to stay on track with what you want to do with the podcast. But that's...
Well, I think that forming that habit is, it's exactly what I wanted to lead into. And without letting you know, because we didn't talk about what I was going to hit you up with. And you kind of naturally answered what I was hoping you would, which is what I expected you to, because that's what you did.
I don't know what your bullet points are. I just cracked open the Lonnie and here I am.
Going back, I just want to make one more point with James Clear, because again, when there's not a better person to start with when it comes to trying to form habits. If you just absolutely suck at starting habits, James Clear, he lays out this 4-part formula in how he creates habits in his book, right? So it's making it obvious, making it attractive, making it easy, and making it satisfying, which I think as you were explaining it, those are kind of all the things that you started, whether you realize you were doing it or not. When you started way back in COVID, I think you kind of went through all those steps, and that's how you're at the point where you're at now. You know, making it
time.
Yeah, making it obvious is like setting setting that goal, right? Something that reminds you to do it. So whether it was, in your case, writing it on the board in the gym or setting your alarm to it, something.
Well, even my Instagram name, before, I changed the name on our Instagram. I had it like as our family profile, and then it started shifting, and I started posting more about like my fitness thing. I was like, I'm just going to change this and leave Facebook us. And I changed the name of my Instagram to Skinny Shell because it was something I was going to see every day. Even when I put on my makeup, I put like an AI image of myself up there, like what I want to look like. Yeah. Just reminding my inner core, like, what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So making it obvious, making it attractive, linking it to something you enjoy, which there's all sorts of fitness options out there, right? Some people think that you have to go and throw up all these heavy weights like the old school bodybuilders.
There's like bar, there's Pilates, there's all sorts of things you can do just to be a healthier person.
Even just walking. I mean, riding a bike,
Totally.
There's all sorts of stuff. And then making it easy, start small. We're going to talk about micro changes here in a little bit, but just something achievable, something. I think people sometimes get overwhelmed, like especially nowadays, like social media. You're looking at these people who are super fit, and you're like, damn, you might be comparing yourself to them. You're like,
totally. People, that's where it gets in your head, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can never achieve that. Like, I can never look like that.
Yeah, you don't look like some Instagram model in 2 weeks, and you're like, oh, okay, I quit, I give up.
There's a lot of vanity going on with social media.
Yeah, you have to make it easy, and then satisfying, like creating a small win for yourself. If it's you lose half a pound in a week or 2 weeks, shit. I mean, just give yourself these little goals and these little victories to keep going. I mean, you can make the challenges as hard as difficult as you want, but just make it realistic. Don't compare yourself to these folks on Instagram, because what you don't see is all the hard work those folks have been putting in for years, right?
I don't think it's so much about comparing. I think it's about, like it's not even like a. How can I word this? Is when I look at somebody that is like totally fit and like, wow, like I would really want to achieve that instead of being like, like, fuck her, look at how great she looks, and just being like cruel about it, even in your own like mindset, like, like, oh, like, look at her just showing off. And there are people that just show off. But what I'm saying is, like, if you see something that motivates you, like, you know what, I can do that. I want to look like that. I can be that person if I try.
Yeah, use it as a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the 2-minute rule when it comes to like trying to kick off these habits?
No.
So say, for example, you want to become a runner, right? And you're like, hey, I need to get into running. You don't start by running, 5 miles, for example. So the 2-minute rule is, instead you want to start by putting on your running shoes and just stepping outside for 2 minutes. But you got to put your running shoes on, right? And it sounds dumb. It sounds dumb.
No, it's not. Don't you? I mean, that's what I did. Like for Christmas, I bought myself those shoes, and I put Skinny Shell on my shoe by Nike. Like,
it rewires your brain, right?
I was just like,
to
these
identify
are the shoes.
you as a runner, or whatever
whatever
it
it
is
is
you
you're
want to
gonna
do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then once you put on your shoes, then it just becomes second nature. Maybe you go out, you start walking. That walk turns into a trot. The trot a jog, and so on and so forth. But for anyone out there who's like, where do I even begin? Start with that 2-minute rule. If it's if it's just getting up, going to the gym, because I know Arnold Schwarzenegger is super famous for saying this, like, just get up and go. And he has said many times,
just start.
Just go up and go to the gym. Like, whether you have a workout thing at your home or you go to an actual gym, just get up and go. Even if you that's your workout for the day is just to walk through the door, get up and go. Because guess what? Once you walk through the door, nobody's going to turn around and fucking leave.
Well, I think the hardest thing is people getting up out of bed and I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. Either if you're looking at we're looking at social media or the news or whatever is our phones. Like the alarm goes off, you grab your phone, and what happens? You start scrolling. Like do less scrolling, do more doing. So I've seen lately like some good habits to get you out of bed, because some people are like, how? I've even got messages like, how do I I got to get up early. I don't even know how to start. And you can start by putting your phone by your bathroom sink instead of your nightstand, so that you got to get up out of bed. You got to get up out of that warm, fluffy, cozy bed and put your feet, on some cold floor, and brush your teeth, wash your face with that cold water, wake up and change.
You know what worked for me? And this was just recently. So, I've been getting up a lot earlier lately, as you know, and it's been this like caveman style progression of hitting snooze.
Don't wake up the bear.
Hitting snooze 10 times to 5 times to 2 times to where not at all now. Right. And so I was watching one of the videos on YouTube. What was that lady's name? The blonde lady?
Oh, Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins.
Love me some Mel Robbins.
So one of her clips that had flashed through, she was talking about people who hit snooze. And I think I was at the point where I was only hitting snooze once. And I'm all proud of myself because I'm like, I only hit snooze once now. And then she goes, you know what? Just give yourself a countdown. And I think it was something like, start at 5, work your way down, and just get up. If you're hitting snooze once, just get up. That little difference isn't going to make that much more. You're not getting any more sleep or whatever. So just get up. And as she said it, I'm like, that's not going to work. That in my mind, I was already scrapping it. But I actually tried it. And since then, when my alarm goes off, I have gotten up every day since I heard that little piece. I have this countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm up out of my feet are on the floor before I hit 1. It sounds stupid. And anyone listening right now is probably like, bullshit.
That's the first time you've shared that. I didn't know that.
It was just like, it was very recent. And,
he's come a long way, ladies and gents.
Yeah. So now it's like that alarm goes off and feet are on the floor and I'm in the gym, shortly after that. So it's been awesome. But it started with these like achievable little goals and, having gone through all these same mistakes that everybody makes. But, micro habits, I think the best way, before we move on, the best way to get anything started is just to give yourself these small, manageable changes that are easy to integrate into your daily life, right? Whether it's adjusting your diet, whether it's actually working out, if you're saving money, I mean, it works for anything, right? Mm-hmm. Even chores, if you suck at making your bed, if you whatever the case may be, make small little changes and then build on it. And don't beat yourself up if you don't do it right away.
And don't give up if you don't do it right away. Like I would just posted something last week. I was just like, you might have a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, maybe even a fucking bad year, but there's nothing stopping you from hitting restart and starting over again. Like everybody's gone through the grind. Mm-hmm. Oh, I just came back to your first thing.
It's grind season.
Grind season. Yeah. Like we're not in this alone. I think so many people wear masks nowadays trying to cover that up. Like everything's fine. Everything's great when it's not, like it's okay to be vulnerable. I think that's kind of like where my Instagrams come from, is like vulnerability. Yeah. I just ripped off the Band-Aid. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Like I said, we're all getting dragged through the mud. We're all in it together. So, finding little ways that help and, push people through, that's the way to do it. So, when you don't have something in place, when you don't have that system in place, you're going to quit. I think most people quit because they think the habits should feel easy.
Each day does get easier. It is hard. It is fucking hard. But each day gets easier because when it becomes a habit, then it becomes a lifestyle. Yeah. And that's where you got to get that out of your head. Like, oh, this is how I do it. This is how I do it. And then this is how I live. This is how I get up now. This is what I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, don't I that's how I've been, I guess, programmed now.
What do you think about the idea that most people don't really want success? They like the idea of success.
Who said that?
But
Who are you quoting? I want success all day long.
No. But they like the idea of success, but they're not willing to suffer through it to get to it.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. Success is hard. That's why you were giving those percentages earlier. 80% have already bowed out. 80% people. So let's just put that in perspective. There's 100,000 people that say they want to be 20 pounds thinner by the end of the year. And 80,000 people have already thrown in the fucking towel. Yeah. Like, unbelievable. Why?
Everyone wants to be in great shape. Everybody wants to make money.
And why at the beginning of the year? Why not now? Why not right now? If you have given up and it's February, I challenge you to follow me on Instagram. I challenge you, like, you know what? I'm going to put something out.
It's grind season.
Yeah. I'm going to be like, don't give up. You already threw in the towel. Don't be weak. Get up.
This is that, you want to know why this is grind season? Because January, everybody's pumped. Everybody's motivated. And then when spring comes and the sun comes back out and summer's right around the corner, everybody gets remotivated. But
you got to put on your bikini.
Yeah. Well, get in that pool. These months right here, February, March, maybe even like early April, especially if you live in like the East Coast and some of these colder areas, man, these months suck. This is when people can put on the layers and layers of clothing and hide behind that nonsense, right?
But maybe you need a team behind you too.
You might. There's nothing wrong with that.
Maybe you need accountability, and instead of just one person, don't make it one person. Like we have a family thing going on that we all kind of own Pelotons, and we're striving to have more minutes this year. If we forget to hit that push button or whatever, like we all want to win. Mm-hmm. Like, what does Nacho Libre say? I want to win. So, but maybe it's that challenge for yourself within that you need a team to, like, you don't want to be last and you don't want to be first. Like we're even doing it at your work right now, right? Yeah. So it's like we're trying to see who's going to lose the most body fat. Like it isn't even the scale number, it's body fat. Like try to, get creative with yourself. If you think you're doing it alone, don't do it alone. Have accountability with you for whatever you're doing. If it's not fitness, it's, hey, I want to make this much in sales or whatever that goal is. I want to get my backyard done, okay, let's get out a plan. And if you can't make a plan, you want to know what the greatest source out there when you don't have a coach or a therapist or anybody to give you that push. Ready? Chat GPT, everybody. It's at your freaking fingertips. It will do anything you ask. Pretty much. So it will give you a plan. Hey, I want to lose this much weight. Hey, what can I do to save this much money? Well, whatever it is, just get creative with it. That's my advice. I
think people expect success to come fast, and we got to slow down, man. You got to go a little old school on this mentality. No matter what your resolution was, what your goal is. We're talking a lot about fitness, but maybe your goal is financial. Maybe your goal is, success at work. Maybe it's building a relationship with friends, family, whatever that goal is. You expect the results to come fast. And when it doesn't, I think folks can assume that they're failing or that they're a failure. Remember, failure is an event. It's not a person. So just because it didn't work out for you doesn't mean that you give up. And if it doesn't come quickly, just keep fucking grinding. Just keep pushing at it.
I also think success is knowledge. I think it comes together. If you don't have the knowledge with the fitness, you get a trainer, or you educate yourself with something about diet and nutrition, and hey, how do I get that kind of tone in my body? If it's a money thing, you want to put yourself in people who are financially fit, right? That are going to educate you in that manner, like a CPA or whatever it is that's going to get you there. But even if it's like your garden or your backyard, like I was saying, well, you can ask a gardener, you can research these things, but success comes, I think, with knowledge. I think it intertwines. It's not just overnight. People don't become successful without educating themselves in some way, having a mentor or coach, something that's going to like mold it all together.
Yeah. And what you're talking about, it's hard, right? It's hard to get out there and work for what you want, whether it's in the gym, whether it's at your job, right? If you want to get better at what you do at work, you have to put the time in. You got to put more time in learning your craft. You have to put more hours in. Whatever it is, going back to school, it takes work. Nobody's going to give you a damn thing, nor do you deserve it. So with that, when it comes to that thought, I think there's a lot of people who would rather stay comfortable than risk failure. But failure, it isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it, right? So push yourself towards that goal. I love the idea, and Rachelle mentioned this earlier, but that image of what she wanted, man, she ain't lying. She plastered it everywhere. It's on her screensaver. It's different places around the house because she wants to remind herself that this is her goal. That idea, I've also heard people writing the weight that they want to achieve. They write it on their mirror. They write it, anywhere, on their fridge, anywhere that's important for them to keep looking at it, to tweak their daily thought process, focused on that goal. If that's what you want, you have to make your goal achievable, one, but you also have to keep reminding yourself, because life is going to get in the way. It is going to throw you curveballs. And unless you are doing what you need to do to help keep yourself on that track, it's easy to get derailed.
Yeah, I agree totally.
And you're going to get knocked down. You're going to doubt yourself at times. You're going to see...
You're knocked down, baby, but they never knocked you out.
Oh, yeah.
Kendall on Peloton. Yeah. Kendall Toole. She was another one. She left Peloton, but man, she got me through some rough days. Yeah. She's very real and raw. You can still do her classes on Peloton, but she left the company. But she's still great, to watch on IG. She has some good messages, but I really wish Kendall would come back. She was a great advocate for Peloton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to grind, man. The grind, it's grind season. It isn't punishment. It's just the process. That resistance, it's the path. It's the path you got to take. Every rep in the gym, every extra hour at work, the early mornings, the late nights, it's building something inside of you, right? So anyway,
what else you got?
I want to switch gears here. Okay. Mm-hmm. I want to switch gears to, let's talk Skinny Shell. And I definitely want to talk about Hearts of Valor. I want to switch gears and talk about your new podcast coming out, Hearts of Valor. Give people kind of a sneak peek. This is where I
grind my teeth.
I want to give people a sneak peek as to what you have coming out. So.
Okay. Well, for all of us who kind of followed us on our last podcast, Educate Real Estate podcast, we haven't recorded anything probably before the election took place. They were still debating. There was a time and a moment where I started really thinking about who is my avatar. So I'm in the real estate business. I'm in the Skinny Shell business, kind of the all way around thing. But I started thinking about like who I really want to talk to. And I am, I guess everybody has always told me, Rachelle, you have such a big heart. And let's see, I don't want to get emotional, but I'm going to say that
I think it's fine to get emotional. This is where this is where the whole idea of the Hearts of Valor came from. Because, you know, when it came from, you know, some of the ideas you've had with, you know,
he's stalling me, so that's good.
with the other podcasts, it was the best intentions. But when it comes to this and some of the conversations I've heard you have with people and some of the messages you've put out, there is not a more raw and more authentic message that comes not just from your heart, but more importantly from experience.
I hit the mic there.
And, you know, I think this is just a sort of message that a lot of people can draw from, and that it will help. So it's okay to get emotional because there's a lot of shit out there. It's not easy. There's all sorts of stuff that people are going through, and they think that they're the only ones going through it, and they have no fucking clue how they're going to get out of it. So I think the message that you bring and some of the folks that you have lined up to come on the show, it's going to help. It's going to help a lot. And that's exactly why you're on here today.
So throughout my career in real estate, I have evolved and made some really, really good relationships. I have some great friends in the business. I know a lot of people just within our community and just family, friends throughout that, you know, I've had some deep conversations with, and I'm like, wow, you know, pretty impactful stuff. Stuff that's even affected my life personally that I feel like, you know, there was at some point in my life I had to pivot. And so I'm pivoting our podcast, the Educate Real Estate Podcast. And this is not my goodbyes, because we are gonna record on that and tell our fans there so they can know why I'm rebranding and building this movement. So Hearts of Valor isn't just going to be a show. It's going to be a community and a mission. I think real estate is going to be something that people know that I do, but they're going to know a deeper side of me. I really feel like there's people out there that have some stories that genuinely maybe can change somebody's life, save somebody's life, and to know that they're not alone. And I think that the connection there will be far greater than me educating somebody on the real estate side of things. I will always be that advocate there, obviously, with what I do. And I think I just want people to know the side of me that they all love when I'm in a room with somebody, you know, if whatever it is that we're doing, talking on the phone, you know, at having coffee, dinner, whatever that is. I take my relationships to heart. And I think a lot of people out there have pierced hearts that have been repaired, stitched, plastered. So it comes deep from within that I think the show will make an impact. And I have found that my avatars, military, first responders, people, veterans, mostly, that I've built like these great connections with. And, you know, I'm not here to speak to the whole world. I'm here to hopefully make an impact on that community because it means a lot to me. And that's kind of like where it's going to go.
All right.
I don't know. I'm sorry if I got emotional there.
No, I think it's great. Yeah, I think that's
and I didn't discover this by myself. You know, I have a mentor that kind of was tapping on my shoulder a little bit like, hey, everybody in the world's talking real estate, but when I talk to you and I see you on Skinny Shell, he's like, that shit is so much deeper. And it really made me think and recalibrate a little bit. Like, hey, should I do this? Should I do this? And we've pretty much decided to do it. And so that's why there's been a pause on my other podcast, because I've been getting everything together and, you know, the rebranding of it and everything. So it takes a lot of work because I do it myself. I'm pretty good at it, but it just takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, I know you're excited about it. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add? Any Skinny Shell updates or?
Well, if you guys want to follow me, I'm on Skinny Shell. If you don't already, if you're randomly listening and you don't know who we are, but you can find me on Instagram at Skinny Shell. You can find us on Instagram at Leon and Rachelle as well. And of course, the Recalibrate Pod is the Instagram page. But yeah, Skinny Shell has evolved this year big time. I have realized I have been fucking up. I have been truly in a place where I wasn't doing the 110% that I should be doing. So we're meal prepping now. So we do that almost every Sunday. And that's been working a lot. Meal prepping, scheduling, making sure we do our workouts. We have like an app for accountability on that sense. I got a little bit of a push from not a real estate coach, but a fitness coach. And I'm going to give her a shout out, Autumn Aguilar, Termine. And she's got an incredible story too. And I just needed that push. I'm seeing changes. And one of the biggest things was weight training. I was doing way too much cardio and I was like, what the hell's going on with my body? For us ladies, I'm in my mid 40s and I'm just going through those, new changes and I'm, it's a battle, it's an uphill battle. And I have found that now, including knowing what I should be eating and not drinking, really cut back on the alcohol. And, I think that I'm seeing huge improvements in just the short time that I've been doing that. And the weights, I've even though I was kind of intimidated by them, I'm seeing more changes on the inches, not so much on the scale yet, but the jeans test, I'm seeing that there. And pretty soon I hope I see it in the bikini, but it's a very, so what is that a quote, babe, with the tortoise and the hare? Like, the tortoise wins. Yeah. Right. So it's been a slow adventure for me, but it's
a process.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we were talking earlier about, people expecting to see fast results. Probably the one thing you can do that guarantees faster results is cutting out the alcohol. Alcohol, this comes later in life, and I know this is not going to be a popular thing to say. Alcohol, there's nothing alcohol contributes positively in your life.
Well, the head general surgeon just came out and wants to put labels on all alcohol now, saying that it can cause cancer, which is like on cigarettes, but they want to put it on alcohol now.
Yeah, well, that's great, but I'll tell you, after the years of what just our recreational drinking, the label I would put on there is it makes you fat as fuck, it makes you lazy. It ruins your next day.
Ruins your sleep too.
Yeah, ruins your sleep. There's nothing positive. I heard this morning. It's a gateway. It's a gateway to just negativity in every way, right? Bad sleep, overweight, health issues. There's just all sorts of problems. There's nothing besides that brief, tiny window when you have your first couple drinks and you're feeling, light and happy,
you.
Right?
It's definitely a stress killer, and it does relax
temporarily, right?
Yeah.
And even that, I think it's kind of it's a mask. It's not necessarily like a magic pill or something. It's just a mask. But you want results. What I was getting at with that is cut out booze, cut it out. And I know there's the dry January and all that other shit that's out there. But if you want to see some real fast health issues, cut out alcohol altogether. And watch what happens. Watch what happens to your skin, to your weight.
That's kind of ripping off the Band-Aid too. Like, if it's a habit of yours to have a glass of wine or whatever it is on a daily basis, if it's the whiskey, the wine, the beer, the whiskey, right? That they talk about. I love that song. But you just smaller increments. Take those baby steps. Like, you know what? Instead of 2 tonight, I'm going to have 1, and then just slowly wean yourself off of it, and then start taking that with some water. Maybe you have water and lime, club soda, just to kind of like maybe give you that, like, ooh, the bubbles in your mouth or whatever it is that you need. Tim Ferriss has this really good thing. And when I hit it hard and I have to go to events, I always took this with me, like, oh, that is great advice. So when you're at, everybody's expecting you, like, oh, why don't you have a drink? Well, you want a drink? You want a drink? You don't have to tell them what you're drinking. But I go to the bar, get club soda, a lime, and a splash of cranberry in it, and 2 little tiny straws. Nobody questions me. Hey, why aren't you not drinking? Nobody, like, who cares? Who cares? Like, just, if it's gonna help you in any way, like, I'm on a mission. I need to get back to that bod. Whatever excuse you got in your head, like, oh, so-and-so's having a beer, but I guess I better have a beer. Like, fake it. Fake it till you make it.
Sympathy drinking. Yeah. All right.
Well,
anything else?
Me? I mean, what about you? This is your show, babe.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll wrap this one up. So, just to recap, man, resolutions fail because they rely on motivation, right? And systems win because they build discipline. No other way to put it. So, the challenge I would throw out there for grind season, and that starts right now, it's February, is forget big resolutions. Forget that. Forget those promises. Pick one micro habit, start today, and keep it. Keep it small and keep it a daily thing. That micro habit, whatever it is, whatever that goal, whatever that resolution started to be, pick that micro habit and start towards restart. So even if you stopped your resolution already, let's give that thing life again and start towards it. Okay. And the difference between winning and losing, right? Or winners and losers, it isn't motivation. It's consistency. Okay. This February, don't be part of that 80% that we talked about way back in the beginning of this show. Don't be part of that 80% that quit. Be the one that keeps grinding through. Okay. And if you've stopped already, get back at it. Keep grinding. All right. Remember.
Yeah. Can I add something?
Yeah,
so like, instead of being like, my year-end goal is this, make it small goal, or like smaller goals, smaller increments. Like, in 3 weeks, I'm going to be here. I want to be here. Like, I want to start getting up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
so wake up at 5 and then slowly get your way up to 4, whatever it is, like smaller increments. And if you said, if I wanted to add anything, me and Leon are always here to help. All our close friends can obviously text us, message us, or whatever. But on Instagram, if you message us, we'd be happy to answer. We're here for support. And, we're not the best shaped people yet, but we're trying to get there, and we can do this all together.
Yeah.
All
right. Once again, she is at Skinny Shell. We're at Leon and Rachelle, and I am at Recalibrate_pod. This has been the Recalibrate Podcast. Remember, wherever your path has led you, no matter how hard life can be, no matter how hard you've fallen, you're not done. Thanks for listening.